Good morning. Today we're going to have our public hearing on the um, Governor Communication number 11-91, which is on the uh, in IMF, Infrastructure Maintenance Fund. We'd like to thank and welcome all of you, Lieutenant Governor and Chairman of IPIC, Director of OPB, Director of Public Work, and uh, your airport manager and deputy director and your CM and the staff from OPB planning and budget. With us, we have our vice speaker, who is a member of this committee. We have the chairman, vice chairman of government health and welfare and floor leader. And we have vice chairman of Red Committee. They're here to help us understand your request. And we have our staff, legal counsel, our legal counsel, and our budget officer. I'd like first to turn over to the Lieutenant Governor and Chairman of the IPIC if he has anything to say before we start our question and answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman of the Finance Committee, presiding officers of this body, esteemed body, Vice Speaker and Floor Leader, and Chairman of the other Chairman and Vice Chairman of the other committees. Yes, in front of you, as a matter of policy, I would like to just underscore that in front of you, senators, honorable senators, is the submission from the governor, as you stated, 11-communication 11-91, and I have all my able key staff members here, especially OPB director as vice chair of the EBRC. I have director of public works with me, and other staff that are here with us to help explain this submission during this public hearing. This is IMF, as you stated, Chairman. This is what the list that the EBRC has put together at that time to be submitted to this honorable body. So as a policy matter, I will just open this hearing for you, honorable senators, and then if there are any questions that are technically related to the submission, my key staff are here to, and key members of the EBRC are here to explain to you as much as we can. And if we cannot answer some, hopefully we can answer all your queries. But if not, then we will, with all due respect, request that we can revert back to you later when we get that information for you. Thank you so much, and good morning to all of you.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Chairman, GHW, you have anything to? Any? You wanna? Okay. Thank you very much. We went through the budget that was submitted, and we've noted some concerns that we have. First of all, IMF, as you all know, is for repair and maintenance of public facilities. We have some requests in here that are not qualified under IMF. One of which is the spare parts for PTS. That shouldn't be in the IMF because it's part of a bus. It should be in a, a different request under different funding source. And one is the canopy at the airport. Um, that should be in another request.
Talking about the collapsible.
Yeah, the collapsible. We understand that in the previous years, uh, YVB requested the same thing. It was approved by OIA, but uh, the past legislature didn't approve it because of misunderstanding. So, but that should not stop you from requesting this, but under other a different source. Yeah, that is similar to the PTS parts. Oh, that shouldn't stop you from exploring other funding sources because we know our bus needs those parts, and we need that canopy at the airport so our visitors and departing citizen will have they can whenever it rains they can have shelter to uh, come in and go out. So those are some of the things we see that are not fit. Then we're going to go into the budget, and we have questions that we're going to ask for the other ones. So right away, those. But I want to also let you know that we reviewed the road maintenance, and we've decided that the 130,000 that Public Works keeps sending in for funding annually, we feel that that's not sufficient. So we have already made our recommendation to increase it to, I think, 160,000. So we have increased that. We want to increase that. And everything we're going to review now, we're going to recommend approval effective date October 1st because we only have 1 month in the fiscal year. So you won't have time. We don't want you to have excuse to come back for extension. We want you to start October 1st. You have one whole year. And then if you come back for extension, then we know you don't have any excuse. So we're trying to make sure that the fund is there ready for you to implement and you have the time to implement them. So thank you very much. Now we can go on, can start the review of the budget. Um, and we're gonna page 2 of Governor Communication 11-91. We're going to start from there. So we are looking at this request for utility phase OLI runaway maintenance. Somehow, these runaways, somebody's lazy or because I don't believe that all those runaways will have a maintenance of 45,820 and 58 cents each, even similar all the way. Uh, I'm sure it's different. And we've done our research and we've conducted efficient finance. Somehow we couldn't get the information from OPV. So we conducted efficient finance and efficient Congress. And we know that for efficient Congress, they have Fort William Airport Terminal uh, under Public Law 15-66. And that fund does not have any expiration date. and it remains for PCT to be completed, amount to 143,000. So that's a lot of money there for Wale Airport. And then we still have the Wale Airport runway clearing and repair, which was appropriated under Public Law 16-49, amended under 21-122. Remaining balance of this one, this is if Congress, correct, 32,513. And then we also have the Wole Airport until expended. The one I said 32,513 expires 9/30/2024. And this one, which is 150,000, which were appropriated under 18-22, has 150,000. This one just says Ole Airport, and until expended, no expiration date. And then we have the Wole runway repair supplemental under Public Law 17-68, 17-71, and 21-32, with the remaining balance of 20,000. All these are for Wole. So you have all those money there. I don't know if IPIC knows about this. But those are money that are there and we're not going to use, so we come to the state to give us 45,000. Because we want to give this to Chuk or what? That's why we want to use our money to. Okay, and then going down to, there's this Face Airport and Terminal. That is what we understand it already paid it out. And then there was a supplemental for 150,000. And then there's the Outer Island Airport, not yet expired, of 13,526. And that is until expended. So those money are there available, can be used for some of the requests to put in for maintenance. So I hope that's a new information, because we're supposed to get this information from you, not us giving us information. And then now going back to the request in front of us, which you have 14,838 to buy gasoline, wheat, eater, lawnmower. IMF doesn't purchase these things. So if you're requesting for maintenance, you're supposed to come with the scope of work, what has to be done. And when you contract it out, and then the contractor will buy all these things. Now you're telling legislature that you want to manage, so you can buy these things, which is not, it's not qualified. Like I said earlier, IMF is for repair and maintenance of public facility, period. And the IMF is not to purchase renovation materials, tools, or equipment. That falls under the contract whenever you got the IMF. And it's just like airport, I mean, the pay for when legislature appropriate the money, you contract it. It's up to the contractor whether they're going to buy with either or Mercedes to do their work, but it's not going to be part of, because if the auditors come and audit the book, the legislature are giving money for these things. So I want to bring this up so you guys. So now, to make it faster for the three projects, why are we having 45,820? Exactly the same for each of the three airports. maybe I pick or public work, somebody can. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. When we were putting this proposal together, uh, Ulithi was the one requesting. We knew that they're requesting assistance on airport maintenance, and then I wasn't aware of the CFSM fund under fees and WLI, so I put it to all the airports. So it will be a one-time request for us to do for all three airports that we have on island. And for the amount that the 45,000 we're requesting, we're thinking of doing a contract with the community at each of the island for a whole year, so we don't come back and ask for supplemental in the middle of the contract. That's our main reason behind the. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. I understand that Congress, in previous years, they gave 10,000 to each of the airport for maintenance of the to clean the Pisanta, and that amount was sufficient. Those airports were cleaned when they gave them the 10,000. So all of a sudden we're up to 45,000, and like I said, we don't have the scope of work. It's up to 45,000 because we want to purchase all these things. So uh, and you don't have the scope of work on uh, how you want to clean those. So thank you. Any members? So we want to welcome the chairman of that committee to our hearing this morning. So, eh, you have any question on this three projects? Just the three projects. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Kevin.
Chairman, good morning to all of you. My question is basically for public work to address, and this is in regards to the Ulithi loan tractor. I understand that what I'm seeing here, there is an appropriation of 30,000. I understand that the loan tractor has been purchased, but yet it's not functioning. I wonder how the government get to this point, because I know with the amount of this nature, this particular type of project should be bid out. So whenever there is a discrepancy in the or any deficiency, the vendor should be able to address it. But yet it seems like we turn over something to the community that is not functioning. So who's at fault here? Is it the governor or the government? Are we setting up people to fail, or are we misusing fund, or are we not following the bidding law? How did we get to this point?
Thank you, Chairman. And I'm sorry about there's probably a misunderstanding somewhere. We're doing the procurement for the launch tractor for Ulithi Airport, but we still haven't got the equipment yet. So I don't know where that information came from that we've already got it, but we have a purchase order in place, but we haven't. We have some difficulty in making payments, but the equipment itself hasn't arrived on island. So thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yeah.
I think what Chairman was talking about is a John Deere tractor that it's a in Ulithi. Is it John Deere? It's a tractor. I think this was brought up in the Council of Command meeting, asking the same question: why you cannot use that tractor, which was already purchased. To our knowledge, that tractor is already there in Iliti. Thank you.
Um, Thank you. There is no tractor in Unity. There is one tractor that we've often used as an example in discussions, and that's at the airport here, a John Deere tractor which we bought, and then we cannot use anymore because we don't have the. Uh, uh, I mean, the company itself has some kind of controls over it that you have to pay money for it for their people to come and get it working again. So that's the problem we have with the tractor that's sitting at the international airport for some time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, give it any follow up, Chairman?
Kumar, Deputy Director, the is Public Work trying to purchase, or are you in the process of announcing and bidding for bidding purposes?
We have gone through the process in the last administration, and there was a waiver on the project to purchase. So we just got quotations, and like I said, there is an existing PO right now for this one company to that we can purchase from. Uh, but they came back and wanted a what? They said after looking at the transportation cost to ship the equipment here to Yap, they wanted if we could put up a 50% uh, payment before they ship it. And that's where we were having a problem with the finance office. And we're working with an, because it's a national appropriation. I mean, yeah. So we're working with the FSM finance also to figure out how we can take care of that problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Director. And that one you're talking about uh, is not uh, reported in what we got from Congress. And how much was the appropriation from for this project? Thank you.
Yeah, the Congress appropriation is 30,000 specifically for that tractor.
It's
Thank
here.
you.
It's 21-244. If I'm reading it correctly. Yeah. Loan tractor purchase for Flalopulity Airport. Expiration date 9/30/2024.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Uh, so that when you get will be for maintenance of the airport in Hilitin. Okay. Thank you, Deputy Director. And uh, with that in place, what else do we need from IMF uh, to for the community or uh, to make sure that the airport in Iliti is maintained? The tractor, including uh, we know we're going to have a tractor because it's already out. And what else do we need in order to make sure that the airport is maintained? Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Chairman. And uh, also chairman of ABRC. There's been some developments also. So if I may, I would suggest that we take this back and then look at the other new developments that have come about for the airport, Hawaii airports, and then we'll see what we can submit for those later. Thank you.
Go ahead. Listen.
Um, if I may, Chairman, honorable members of this body, after consulting with my key staff, the vice chair of the IPIC, we are recommending that we take all these three out from the list. It is because we need to revisit our register of CFSM funds. As you articulated earlier, we may have funds in there. And Flalapility needs that tractor very, very bad. So we need to work on that and see how we can deal with that. We're going to revisit the airport funds in the CFSM registers and get back to you, because I think we still have sufficient funds in there that we can tap. It's just a matter of putting together the scope. And as my director of planning and budget says, that he puts these three together arbitrarily without a scope of work. And it is a failure on my part as chairman that I should ensure that before we submit the projects list, we have that scope of work to justify how we come up with the requested funding. So I agree with the Deputy Director of Public Works that if you can allow us to take that tractor issue back and then put something together and render to this committee again for their consideration.
Thank you, Director, Chairman of IPIC. I think that would be the best course of action to take it back and rescope, knowing that there will be a tractor coming and any other work. And please, no more tools in the proposed budget, because IMF is to maintain the repair, not to buy tools and equipment. Thank you. So we can move on from there. The I hope you have your staff. Is this our number? Wait, 5, or is there a number? The page numbers are these ours? Oh, our number. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The page 5 is the total request of 64,752. And that's for the International Airport Terminal Screening Area Improvement Project. Can you just briefly explain what kind of work will be done on this one? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. This proposal was a proposal that we put together with the CM. This is an expansion to the arrival area, because ever since I came on board, that's one of the major problems that we had at the airport with a passenger arriving. The area got congested. So this proposal is for the glass wall that's behind the custom to be moved out to where the railing is, so it can expand, give more room for the arrival passengers. This is what this budget for this expansion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mislocate where I read, but you're gonna tear down that glass, demolish that wall, and build a new one a little bit further out to expand the area.
Thank you. It's more remove and relocate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Because I hope, because in our discussion, we were talking about if you we just finished that wall and then we turned it down, moved on. Another manager comes later, and let's tear it down and then move it in or move it out, because we're we're not going to save any money. We're just wasting money because our plan are not consistent. We want to do this now, and then later on we tear it down and then move on from there. So uh, that is my. I'm in favor of expanding the area. Of course, it's really congested when people come in. But uh, I just hope that we will have a plan that look into the future. So when we expand it and it's done, so we can wait maybe 20 years, and instead of finishing it now next year, we demolish again, and then expand a little bit, and then we demolish again, and then we expand a little bit. Uh, so that's my only concern, and I agree that we need to expand the area. So the floor is open for any question. Go ahead.
Congrats, Chairman. And in Public Work Airport, please correct me on this. During our uh, review of this proposal, we were under the assumption that this request is basically for screening area, because on the project title it says YIA terminal screening area. So we're thinking from what we are envisioning is to improve the screening area. And we thought that screening is for outbound and arrival is for inbound. And yet you're talking about the arrival and the project title is screening area. Are we talking about the same thing, or I'm getting us confused here?
Yes, the term here says screening. Um I'll take a beat on that. When I received the CM put a proposal together, I did not review correctly, but I finally look at it, and in other words, that area can still be used as screening because we do screen passenger before enter on the app. So I'm using the term arrival, but in other words, the passengers do screen there before they arrive outside the terminal. I apologize for that, but the area is for arrival. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Dr.
Chairman, I'm sorry. I think our airport manager is talking about a different one. We do have two requests here, for one for baggage and arrival area, freight section, and one for screening area. Yeah. No, it's the same thing. Oh, okay, then I take it back. That's the same thing.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. So, uh, where the canopy is by itself in this request, it is $20,000 according to the picture, but it's not included in this uh, the estimate of 64,752.
Thank you, Chairman. No, the canopies, the budget for canopies included in under the airport baggage and freight section. It's included in the 135,122.47 cents. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so if we don't have any more question on the screening or arrival thing, project, we'll move on. Yeah, go ahead, Chairman.
Kumbar, Chairman, and this is after looking over this packet that was sent down, I went back to Public Work and asked them because it seemed that instead of just doing incremental, um, maybe we make, like you were saying, something that's for the longer run because we anticipate changes and maybe may have more traffic in the future to where even that carousel that proposed, is it carousel or conveyor that's there to maybe even expand it further. And is there anything else that you were able to put together regarding that before we move on from this area? Recognizing the fact that this is something that's existing and we're maintaining it by moving it, so it kind of still fits under the definition of maintenance instead of a totally new thing that we have to go somewhere else. So if you have something, please add so that we can entertain it.
Thank you, Mr. Mafal. Yes, we're working with the CM office in looking at the airport proposal new layout plan. The airport by itself, the existing terminal right now, the layout is really off because you check in on one end and you depart from the other end. It really mixed up the traffic from the terminal. So I'm working with the CM, trying to find a way where we can split the arrival and the departure, and maybe have the airline in the middle to split them. So when you arrive, you get out, you go. When you check in, you depart from the other end, and also split the people that came and drop off from the outside, because now every flight operation, it just the whole airport was a busy traffic. So yes, we have something in plan and we're working on it. So I'm just bear with us. We'll come up with something hopefully that will help us now and then in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. When you do all those plan, does the leadership involved in agreeing to the shape, the what you plan to do, or you just go ahead and uh, request money for it so can we find it implemented regardless of whether the leadership like it or I'm just asking because we don't want you to go ahead and do something because that's what you think it's good for us, and then later on the governor or comes in and say, or the council come in or the legislature say, no, I don't like your plan. Let's tear it down, and you request some more money so we can give you. I'm just concerned of the cost that they may continue going. So did that address your question, Chairman? Okay, thank you. Because in the next one on page 11, it's talking about the extension of the conveyor. So, yeah, and it's page 11 on our, and that's where the collapsible covered walkway is. So that is, we said we're going to take out. So we'll talk about item number one, the air freight section roof extension project. Yeah, so uh, uh, the when you extend this roof, then you can extend the conveyor belt. That's what this is, if I understand correctly. Thank you.
According to the blueprint, with with the extension of the proposal now or without, the conveyor belt can still be extended. So conveyor belt can be extended at the space that we have, the existing space we have right now. Thank you.
Okay, any question from anybody? I don't know much about engineering, so yeah, go ahead, Elsie.
Um, I'm seeing the amount to be requested is, if I'm not mistaken, to be bidded out to contractors. Is that correct? Public Work?
Yeah, please respond to Elsie's question.
Yes.
Follow-up, Chairman.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at the specifics under cost estimate for construction. And for the both projects, you have a line item under general requirements for project engineering and management. We'd like to clarify, is that project engineering and management for the contractor, or is it for Public Works?
Sure. For contractor. Thank you.
No
ahead.
follow-up, Chairman.
Go ahead.
No follow-up.
Oh, thank you. Any other comments before we move to the number two? Number two is the baggage conveyor extension, 76,410. Looks like there's no comments on that one. I just have one question. I've said earlier that we're going to try and recommend to the whole legislature for this to have October 1st is the starting date. Will we have, do you think, in your estimate, all these projects can be finished in fiscal year 2024? Thank you. Go ahead, Rex.
Combat Chairman, I think we need to take our plan back, redo it, and then bring it back. Sorry for wasting everybody's time. So I think there's a lot of changes we need to make.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we have one more month. We'd like to finalize our report to the whole legislature. So we before October 1st. So if you're gonna take it back, please finish it and send it back so we can review it. And if we have to call you in for public hearing, we'll do that. But our target date for the start date is October 1st. These are good projects. We encourage you to make sure everything is done properly and then return to us. Okay, so that will. Okay, then the next one. Go ahead.
Yeah, just one more comment, Chairman. I see on the number two, the baggage conveyor, the extension project, the requested amount is 76,000. And I'm just wondering if CM did any project engineering work on this estimate, or just based on a quotation from a vendor? Because it's the exact quotation from one vendor I see attached to the proposal.
Thank you. And well, go ahead and make comments on that. But with director have said that you will have to take it back. So can CM or airport respond to Vice Chairman's comments? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Vice Chairman. Kind of go along with what the director is saying, if you can take this back. Okay, this amount that we're looking at right now is the amount that was quoted by uh, the contractor that did install the existing one right now, and this amount is the amount for uh, extension to extend the conveyor belt that we have. Based on our meeting last week, he received an email from the manufacturer that the manufacturer will not do or modify conveyor belt as in to do extension on it. They do only make a new one. So, like I said, if we can take this back and rework with a contractor, this is where this budget comes in, and the budget we're looking at right now is short to what we propose. Shiro, tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Chairman.
Comrade Chairman, and thank you, Itun. I totally agree with the director for the department to take this back, because I totally think that it's good to have a vision. But from what I'm seeing from the proposal, we're trying to develop and improve the airport, but we're failing to address what is needed. I don't see any laboratory design on the screening so-called arrival. And with what we have now, all the money from Congress with the new improvement of the airport, it seems like we're accommodating what I call looky-loos. People who wants to come to the airport and see what's going on, just for sightseeing. And yet the terminal is designed to accommodate travelers, not these looky-loos that I'm talking about. So we need to have a long-term vision and envision where we are within the next 5-10 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. You want to respond to Chairman's, or you will take it uh, for your reference in your planning? Yeah, go ahead, Chairman.
Facilities in the arrival area, and so people who are there who haven't cleared their baggage are allowed to go out and go to the other side to use the bathroom, and there has to be some kind of security issue with that. So to put in a bathroom there, even maybe a VIP lounge section, because when you go to other places and we're actually with some courtesy, we don't have that for ourselves when people from Palau and other places come to visit us, especially we see that regularly. So I've been asking them to even envision putting that in, and then that it can vary a lot shorter than I would like it to, even with the modifications. We just need to make it, to think a little more grander than we're allowing ourselves. So that's why they're asking to take it back. And some of those obviously won't fit under IMF because it will have to be new.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, not only that, but I think they need to put one extra toilet bowl in the departure area, because
Right.
we see a long line outside the door.
And not only that, but even ask them to have maintenance people there on the ground during flights, because that's the time it's mostly damaged. and it's a very impressive for people arriving or leaving that are still asking they see the condition of our bathrooms on the way out or on the way in.
Thank you, Chairman. So you want to comment to that, or we'll move on? Yeah, go ahead, LT.
Yes, thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Chairman Mafal. I just want to underscore that at the moment, the governor and I have put together a task force to work specifically on the airport for a long-term solution to this. I think what we're talking about now, submitted in this thing, is uh, the fix that we need to do at this moment so that the airport is operational for us and comfortable for all visitors and those who are leaving. But most of these directors here, including deputy director, airport manager, are members of the task force. They meet uh, almost every month uh, to work out these permanent fix to the airport. We're even looking, and the meeting that I attended with your task force is that we're even looking, because of space problem, uh, going horizontal uh, and even expanding the parking lots, but that will take a moment. When our engineer is on board from PMU, we would like to engage her to be part of this task force so that we have some engineering sense into this making. But I wanted to let you know that, but they can speak to it. I know they're members of the task force. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lieutenant. Go ahead, Chairman.
Lieutenant, you know the airport have a what the government call the YAP International Airport Master Plan. And I hope the director and the deputy director is sharing those plans with their manager at the airport so that and those plans has been endorsed by the leadership of the state. And I do hope that we do not invent the wheel. We need to go back and look at what we have and see where we can improve and implement those plans that money has been spent on uh, for it to be developed by our consultant. So I wonder if those plan has been used as reference, or I hope the department can look into those plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Uh, no more comments on that, and they are taking it back. So we'll see it again and deliberate further on it. The next one is the roadside maintenance. And like I said earlier, we've looked at this, and we we've seen our roads still not being maintained. So we agreed that we will increase this to recommend increase of this to the whole legislature to 160,000. That we one 150,000. My bad, my mistake. But yeah, we want, and we also want to make our recommendation and condition of the fund, so you be known that there will be threshold for minimum bid. Nobody will go down just so they can win the bid and then do a lousy job. We want to set a minimum bid requirement for it so people can come in, bid, and then they can have helpers to clean the road and be able to afford fuel for the visitors. So that's what we wanted to do, and we're conveying that information to you because that's what we're going to recommend. So, yeah, if you don't like it, you can just tell us. We can go down further. Uh, Any comments for me? What?
Board Chairman, Board Director, we also entertain the idea of for the government to do away, most especially the department, to do away from a 6-month period contract, and that's what we've been seeing over the years. At least, if possible, to go for 12 months, so we do not repeat the same issue that we are facing now with overgrown grass, and we don't have the funds. One of my own concern is and recommendation is hopefully public work can look at all these projects, scope it out before going into bidding. You need to establish a ceiling and a floor. I know there's a language in the bidding clause that says lowest and reliable, but it seems like we're not looking at responsible. We're looking at the lowest so we can save money, and yet that's where we are failing. We also wanted to inform you that this is not only about keeping Yap clean. This is about investing in our private sector for them to grow, and also giving a sense of responsibility to the municipality and community. Because we've been receiving calls from community that they can take on that responsibility rather than having a contractor from somewhere coming into the respective community and work. But yet, I think the government is not giving that privilege for the community to be able to bid. So I know with all of this community visit that we are foreseeing in the future, the executive branch along with the legislature have just conducted one. These are the information that we need to share with the community, that the door is open for them to turn in their proposal and bid as well for this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Anybody want to say or comments on that? Yeah, go ahead, Director.
Chairman, we will also include that in the announcement of the bid. Thank you.
Go ahead, fast, Chairman.
Well, thank you. Now, along with what Chairman Bama was saying, and I'm wondering why we don't do a long-term contract with these people that are cleaning the road, because it's we do 6 months and 12 months. Why can't we do a multi-year contract with them? If somebody can just.
Thank you. You want to comment on that, Chelsea? You want to comment on what Vice Chairman was just making?
I think because of our budget cycle, we usually budget by fiscal year cycles. And that's why we have been appropriating on a yearly basis, at least our local funding.
Yeah, go ahead, Vice.
No, I'm just wondering because I know there are some contracts, other maintenance contract at the public schools, and even when I was with the ECE, that go multi-year. We just automatically renew if there's funding available. Because I see one thing with this thing, when we do this yearly or monthly thing, and then we keep changing the people that are cleaning the road, then it's like Bama, it doesn't help their business to somebody keep undercutting them, so their business don't grow. So either we're gonna do that, or probably give it to the community, let them clean their road and supplement them with fuel for the weed eater or something, because it seems like it's an ongoing problem that we keep facing every year. We clean for 6 months, and then the other 6 months we let it overgrow, and then we contract somebody, and they have double the work to do to get the road back into place. So I think we can come up with a better process of this road maintenance.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. And I think there's something that you can look at our regulation, financial management regulation, and if it's allowed, I don't see why not. Because the contract can spell out, but Chelsea can correct me. The contract can be specific that if no funding for, and then maybe it may be reduced or, but at least we have the multi-year. And I know that uh, for federal in federal programs taken to a multi-year contract. Uh, the only scary part is knowing us Yappies. You get one contract, you have enough money, you pay your ticket, you run away. So nobody. Uh, yeah, go ahead, Chelsea.
Um, I would need to revisit our financial regulations, but one of the things I am fully aware for the contracts is I think 30 days before the contract expires, they have to bid again for the next contract coming. I think it's very clear in the bidding regulations. Once a contract is about 30 days from its expiration, we are allowed to bid out provided the funds are available for renewal or a new contract. Aside from that, Chairman, our question here is how many segments for the paved road maintenance, just to have it on record.
Uh, Polycorp, please.
11.
And thank you. And there's the other contract where uh, the IDIQ. Uh, that's that's a military guy that came, and we were going to start implementing it. So uh, I don't know where it is now, but it's been mentioned in all the states within the official. But that's something for your information. IDIQ stands for uh, indefinite delivery, indefinite quality, something like that. So because you cannot foresee what's coming in the future. Any more comments? Go ahead, Chairman.
Chairman Kamuat. Mine is the cover letter is talking about one of the things that caught my eye is this funding, water funding on the road because of the maintenance, roadside maintenance is not available. I think there's something here that's beyond the scope of these guys with weed eaters is that the clog, the drainage, the culverts and the concrete drainage around town, around the lagoon, and especially around the park where there's a big pool that forms there. There has to be something where maybe hoses with fire hoses or something to blow out those things or even check if they're still in good working conditions. That's probably maybe something beyond this basic 150 proposed 150,000 that we're talking about, because there is a lot of pooling, especially in those areas that I don't think these guys with their weed eaters can help. Maybe they can scrape the sides of the grass overgrowing a little higher than the asphalt. But as far as the drainage, I see they're always clogged. The culvert drainage is there. So that may be something else for them to for public work to consider, and maybe get the funding necessary for that. But that's something beyond this roadside maintenance, because that is happening, especially around the park and other areas. Even the poorly redesigned, repaired road by the police station to St. Mary's. We're seeing what's happening there now, where that design was obviously poor to, and now we have potholes forming from the bump instead of the dip that happened when it was reversed. So yeah, lots of other things besides just the roadside maintenance fund.
Thank you, Chairman. And, and this is for paved for maintenance and anything that, but there's your division of road and ground. So uh, I hope the road maintenance road, the paved road maintenance can take over roads and ground, and then they don't have anything else to do. But uh, uh, in the fiscal year 2024 budget, we've also make recommendation to increase your asphalt from 15,000. I think we recommend doubling that because we want to see the road and ground when you have supposedly you have those equipments now and you can solve the problem of the ditch. And so we're trying to give you everything. So next time you come in and you have some excuse, and uh, we'll see where we fall short. But uh, I hope we see our roads maintained. Any other comments? Yeah, go ahead, Chairman.
Comrade Chairman. When Public Work award this road maintenance, who is responsible for the inspection component to ensure that the scope of work is being followed? And that leads to the question raised by Chairman Mafal that the maintenance is basically looking at grass cutting but failing to address opening up clog drainage, shoveling of sediment that is filling up the ditch. Who's responsible for the inspection? Is it CM?
Yes, it is inspectors.
Okay, with the two-man office, do you require assistance from road and ground? Because I think it's also their responsibility. Because if there's a sedimentation that is plugging the ditch and it's hard for the contractor to use shovel, the road and ground should step in. And that's what happened at the Milro area. And yet we're seeing a lot of potholes due to the fact that our drainage is clogged up. Because CM is responsible for inspection, but I guess this type of inspection does not require an engineering professional.
You want to respond? Go ahead.
Yes, we do ask for their assistance.
Any other comments? The more we move on to the extension funding extension, and that's for the ARF building, YFA structural repair, and number 3, marine resources. And I'm not sure if we have the or maybe you do. Yeah. My only okay. No, I think it's in here. But yeah. So let's go with number 1, the ARF building repair project. Can you tell us about this one project? Why are you extending it, and what kind of activity has been taking place over there on the project? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. For this project, it's ongoing, and we propose to use the remaining fund to repair the whole entire ARF building. Then the the, the purpose for the fund now is to just repair the roof only. The intent for the fund is to repair the roof, but the contractor bid way low, and we want to reinstate to use the remaining fund to do some other repair work that need to be done at the ARF building. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, in the status report provided with the request, you have 126,258 still available. Uh, and what you have obligated, which is about 125,000, and that is for the roof, and this will complete the roof. And I think the legislature initial appropriation was for the roof, repair of the roof, which they appropriated 250,000. Uh, so so that initial estimate was over public work did uh, way over the actual cost of repairing the roof. Actually, when they've obligated to complete the roof, and the remaining is 126,000, which they are asking for extension, and it's not going to be according to CNEM. It's not going to be for the roof or other repair that needs to be done at ARF. Does that violate the initial appropriation, or it's good? They can go ahead and do any other need to maintain the ARF building with the initial appropriation amount of 250,000. Thank you.
Without really looking at the information on the intent of the legislature in appropriating those funds, I can see that it can be accommodated. But Chairman, I would need to look into the intent of those YSL to ensure that you do not need to actually authorize any changes to the original scope of work.
Thank you, Elsie, because my understanding is that appropriation was repair of the roof. The roof. And according to CNEM, they're going to finish the roof with the contract they currently have now, but they have a remaining balance of 126. The reason why I'm asking this, if it's going to be in violation of that appropriation law, and they still need the money, when we extend, we have to put in a language so they can use that money without violating the initial appropriation.
Yeah, yes, Chairman. Our Financial Management Act requires that the legislature has to authorize a total change of use of funds. Since if it's for the roof specifically and they want to use it for something else but related, they would have to get authorization from the legislature.
Thank you. Can I ask that you also take this back, the ARF thing? And for the 126 that you're requesting, let's say, to extend, if you can provide what you're going to use it for, because like I said, the initial appropriation for 250,000 is for the roof, and you have planning with us, and they can confirm that that's the intent of that appropriation. Now he's saying you want to use it for others. I want to ask to do it legally. We extend and include those additional work that will fall under the 126. We just don't want to violate our own law. So that's why if you can also take this back, and when you submit, you put those other additional jobs you're going to do with this money. So, Chairman and Lieutenant Governor, that's all okay with you? Okay, thank you. And so let's move on to the other one, IFA structure project. You have a remaining balance of 40,723. Is that the amount you want to extend? I mean, give Chairman first. Go ahead, Chairman.
So, Chairman, if possible to take us back to the ARF, I see that they would like to use this for something else. But in the small visit we had recently, I saw there are cracks in that floor, and the roof is getting heavier. But the floor is needs some serious work, and I'm sure with all the impact of planes landing, and I don't know if when it was initially made, what's happening, but the floor has cracks in it. When we were there for that small get together to thank those two firefighters, so that might be a whole other project that needs to come under IMF, but that's very serious if the floor also has cracks besides just the roof. That was just from just a visual. When you were there last time, I could see the cracks running through the floor. Come on, just to put that out there.
No, you take note of chairman's and I hope those are some of what you're gonna address. And so, Chairman, I think when they take this back, and according to CNEM, they or not know that those cracks that you were talking about. Any other comments? Okay, so now going to YFA. Yeah, YFA. The you want to extend to 40,723, and you've already obligated like 43,000, over 43,000, of which 3,325 has been paid out. The outstanding obligation 40,626. So, what's the hold up? And the obligation that you've already did is not, that's not going to complete the whole building. And if not, why didn't you obligate the whole amount?
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, we came across some of the issues that we usually face during the repair works. We want to use the remaining to some of those issues that we came across during the work. Those were not seen during the assessment.
Thank you. So it's similar to R. So for this one, you're going to use to other repair that were not part of the first. Correct?
Yes, correct. Also, same as the marine resource. Yeah, those are the same issue. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So I hope the members understood what they're saying. They want to extend to two other works besides what the initial appropriation. They just found some other things that they need to repair. My only question is, I hope that we're just not trying to use up the money because it's there. Because we have other projects in the future. But if it's needed, then why not? Any comments? Go ahead, Elsie.
Chairman, I apologize. This is not a legal comment. I'm just wondering, how many engineers do we have working for the Public Works Department?
Thank you, also. We only have two.
And
Go ahead,
I'm aware that the PMO also has a number of engineers under PMO. Is that correct?
I believe you're correct.
Therefore, it begs the question as to when you're putting together these projects, why was the engineers not involved in ensuring that whatever plans are put together is not fully prepared to cover all these problems that are now arising? Just a comment, Chairman. It doesn't need.
Yeah, I want to respond to that on Elsie. Because PMO, they were strictly informed that their duties is to compact sector fund and not our local projects. But IMF, they should be involved in it because part of it is compact. It's matched by compact. So for this, if they hesitate, tell them that this is IMF is matched with local and they should be involved in this. And in other projects as well, because the last time I communicated with Steve, he said it's up to you, meaning because I asked if we can ask for assistance with hospital when the hospital was trying to extend their lab. Uh, is it okay with them if we utilize PMO for that? And Steve said it's up to the state. So I guess for other projects that you need assistance in, go ahead and work with director of OPV so we can talk with them and work with the public work. Well, thank you. Any other comments? No more. Let's move on to the living quarters, I think. Oh, I thought they said it's the same. That's why. But if you have comments, go ahead, Chairman.
And thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Director, and your staff. You know, this project is been ongoing for the past, I don't know, 6, 7 years. It's been a long time. And yet, what I'm seeing here, you're asking for extension of the remaining balance. And I believe, from what I'm looking at, the 218 open encumbrance, 218,003.92 is an open encumbrance, and I believe this is the actual proposal from the winner of this project, and you're asking for the remaining, and yet we are seeing uses of used lumber. So if we're using used lumber, there might be money left. And it's clearly visible when you pass a park area. You will see that used lumber is being put up for trusses and purlins. And I guess this leads back to the statement that I made earlier, awarding project to the lowest bidder, but not looking at the responsible component of it.
Go ahead if you want to respond.
Thank you. For those used lumber, I believe that the scope of work will replace the damage. Yeah. So if there's damage, they will replace, and we are for sure that what I see over there is now they already removed those used lumber, and they installed brand new lumber. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And from the amount obligated of $218,003, I can see there's work there, but government have not paid them anything. So there's if they we haven't paid them, meaning that's why they already use numbers because they cannot. So the report says we have not expended any money. So is there a reason why the contract says we're not going to pay them until such time? I just want to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. The contractor haven't gave us any payment request. Thank you.
Okay, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no more comments on this one. No more. We can move on. Okay, so let's move to the living quarters. Okay, thank you. Um, there is no uh, request of just cost breakdown of what they want, and I think we need some explanation on this. So let's start with. We understand, according to the notes on the status report, that you want 12,000 from the amount available for quarter number 38. You want to move it to supplement amount of 96,486 under quarter number 50. Uh, and quarter number 50, there's no activity, no obligation. So can you explain to us what's with quarter 38 and why quarter 50 is not being implemented?
Kumagata, Chairman. I'll try to explain this one. This was supposed to be awarded to a contractor. I apologize. I thought we had the request attached to this for extension. Um, from quarter 38, it finished, and then there was remaining funds. And we saw that for quarter 50 to do the whole renovation, the money wouldn't be enough, the one that's already appropriated. So we want to move that difference to the quarter 50 project to be able to complete and award the contract so the contractor can actually complete the work on quarter 50. Excuse me, Chairman. I would like to take this back as well and then redo the whole request again.
Thank you. So we will have the complete certification. And please note that 38 is complete. So yeah, that is just 450 and the amount you're going to be needing. And the reason of a delay of implementation, why it's been delayed. So I think that should be enough to clarify that. So any other comments? Go ahead, Chairman.
Thank you. And this goes to the either CM or Mano or the director. And I know LC asked about this particular item. Can you give me a breakdown or activity that is falls under general requirement? Because it says on one of your item for airport general requirements require $4,499. For the renovation of quarter 50, you need 5,000. What are the activity under general requirement?
Chairman, I think in the next page, like for the there's requirement, and then it breaks down by project engineering and management, construction aids, which is scaffolding, warning and safety signs. It details the general requirements.
And who's doing all this? Is it the contractor or public work is doing a component of it? Or everything under general requirements falls under the contractor roles and responsibility?
It falls under the contractors. It's the contractor to put up the safety, like safety first and others. For the visitors to, yeah, for those are the things that falls under the general requirement.
So A&E does not falls under general requirement?
It does, but I believe that they told us to not to include that on the general requirement. So for now we don't include that under the general requirement.
Yeah, just to clarify where I'm trying to get at, and thank you for clarifying that. We don't want to appropriate hidden cost. That's what I'm trying to get at. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Any other comments? No, go ahead, Chairman.
Comrade Chairman, and to CEM, I did talk to Public Work about this because this was something that was done quite a lot. The A&E being stuck in here to where that kind of was of the holdup with marine resources, because it would come here, we would cut that out, and it would come back again, we would cut that out, and the work would slow down. It's playing chicken to who's gonna give up and do the work, or we're going to give up and put the A&E back before the work can continue in a timely fashion. So I did talk to them about that, and that's why they're saying that they're not going to do that anymore. Come on.
Thank you. Any other comments? Sir, go ahead, Chelsea.
Yeah, Chairman, we're kind of confused between page 42 of our attachments and page 36. I know they offered the explanation, but it's not clear what they're doing or what's happening. In page 42, the overall cost is 99,000. And then in page 36, it's 109,000. And yet the available funding that they have only for this project is 96. They should not be doing this until they gain the authorization to use the remaining balance.
Let me clarify what Elsie was talking about. On page 36, for quarter 50, with all the costs, it totals up to 109,403. And then you go to our page 42. That one is the cover quarter 50 summary of estimated cost for repair and renovation. And then you go to page 42. Each government review quarter 50 cost estimates for repair and renovation, which is 99,457. So there are two costs. The one is 109,403. You're taking this back, so if you can make sure the two pages. Oh yeah, the first one is at 9,947, 10% contingencies, but then the second one, you don't have anything, no contingencies. So that's the difference between the two. And then in the status, you put down you need 12,000, and if you add 12,000 to the 96, it will be another amount. So, uh, so you can take it back and make sure we're talking about one figure. Okay, so they will take it back, and so I will when it comes
Oh.
back. So
Would it,
you.
Chairman, would it
Go ahead.
include the request to change use of funds from living quarters, I think it was 41, you were saying, to 50
Uh,
and
they will
38?
they will let quarter 38 fund expire because or they're just gonna one request and include additional amount of 12,000 needed to complete the project.
So noted, Chairman.
Okay, so more comments? If no more, thank you very much, and we hope you finish this and you send it back and everything in order. One total, not three. So we can easily look through it and make our recommendation to the whole legislature. Anybody want to make any final comments before we go ahead, Chairman? Go ahead, Chairman.
Kumgar, since the executive will take all of this back and most of the request will be taken back and work on them, but I'm also concerned about the Dilpemna Road, and I hope during your process of deliberating and looking into how we can improve this, that particular project can be included as well, because it fits under IMF, and it's getting worse and worse every day. And I'm not saying this just because I'm from there. The whole population who have vehicles use that road, so I hope this the department can take this and look into it. Thank you.
Thank you. And please, there's one request one time, it's urgent. Legislature has to act on it because urgent. And when legislature act on it, took 3 years for the public work to act on it. So I don't know what the definition of urgent is. Maybe urgent meaning 3 years. So go ahead, Vice Speaker.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, for doing this single-handedly. But you cannot add or take anything away from it. That's why I don't want to interfere, because that'll take away from your performance. But no gray area. You don't leave no gray area. But there is some gray area, I think, in some of the things that we do. And going back to the airport, back about 20 years ago, maybe more than 20 years ago, we were talking about the airport. And at the time, there was another plan, and that plan was a lot better, but again, and more permanent. But that gray area is between what's permanent and what we can afford. And so that has been an obstacle that we've been dealing with over the years. But I think more and more, and as I was listening to you all, you're talking about, you're emphasizing the permanence as what is to be the one factor to focus on, and I fully agree. We've seen the problems with some of the things that we try to cut corners on, and it was none of you was involved, but I'm seeing a trend now for the better, and I just want to say this and thank you and commend you all, and I'm glad you're saying to, because we saw that in the design back then, to separate the arrival part from the departure part, because I now those people commingle. Some are crying, some are happy, because some are, some people, some friends and family members are leaving, and some are arriving. So we see these people and we hug, and sometimes you hug the wrong person, and then the red flag goes up. So it can cause trouble. So
And thank you, Vice Speaker. And Chairman, you were talking about small business. What- yeah, it's nothing. Uh, such a ghost. So anyway, I, I'd like to thank you for coming this morning, and we've learned a lot from you. And I know we need to make some improvements. We'll be expecting something back from you. Uh, so for that, I'd like to close our public hearing this morning, and thank you again for coming. Our public hearing is now closed.